Hello YouTube, this is the Florida Rider coming to you from the middle of nowhere, Florida. I'm currently near a place called South Bay, which as far as I can tell appears to be at the southwest end of Lake Okeechobee. Now everybody say Okeechobee 3 times fast. Okeechobee, Okeechobee, Okeechobee. Anyway, I'm actually riding for a reason today. I'm sort of on vacation. I have to work down in Miami tomorrow, so I've taken the whole day to make it down here. It's a beautiful sunny day. It was a bit cold when I left my area. It was only like 53 or 54 degrees. Yes, Defobra, I had the liner in the jacket, of course. Like you need to ask. And I've been taking the whole day to come down, just to goof around, just to not have to be any place. Because there's no place to be between where I live and here. I've explored some little villages and just sort of bummed around on the bike because it's beautiful down here. It's like 75 down here, it's sunny, and it's only going to get better tomorrow in the next few days. So, now, before you think I'm totally nuts, I don't always work on my vacation. But since I had to come down here, I figured that, you know, there's no point in just coming down and going right back home, so I've taken Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday off as well. By the way, I'm filming this on Saturday, which I think is March 8th. I don't have a laptop with me because I prefer to go with the smallest luggage as possible when I travel on my bike. So I have no idea when I'll be posting this. After work tomorrow, I'll be riding up to Fort Pierce and spending the night in Fort Pierce, and then on Monday I'll be going to a spring training game, probably. The plan is to leave early on Tuesday so I can go to Daytona for demo rides at Bike Week, and then I'll be spending Wednesday riding bikes again, demo rides at Bike Week, and then Wednesday evening I'll head home. So it's just a very quick trip, but I did the same thing last year and it was awesome, except last year I had to go by car. And this year, I'm not, clearly. Look at that Florida sun. Gotta love it. I didn't take Highway 75 because that's where everybody else is. As you can see, there's almost nobody in front of me. And I'm taking Highway 27, so what I did was I went to Arcadia, Florida, and then I turned right, and this is taking me diagonally across the state, and in about 37.9 miles, according to good old Tom, I'll be connecting with I-75 again, and then I'll be heading south to Fort Lauderdale and down to Miami. This way is so much more relaxing than going on I-75. As I was coming down here today, I had to go over two bridges, and then I went along the water for a little while, and then turned inland. And I've decided that if I didn't live near the ocean, I wouldn't live in Florida, because there's really no other reason to live here. But the fact is that I do live in Florida, and I do live near the ocean, and I still absolutely love it here. I agree that living in Florida isn't for everybody. You have to be able to tolerate lots of heat and humidity and straight roads. And while I have no problem with heat and humidity, roads that weren't straight would be nice, but that's okay. Florida has almost everything I want in a place to live. No place is perfect, but this place is pretty close to it for me. Oh wait, a corner! Look! A corner! Yay! Speed up, speed up, speed up! A corner! Yay! Wow, that was exciting. A corner in Florida. Like I said before, I've lived many places in the world, and also in the USA. And every place I lived, I couldn't wait to get away for the weekend. Or for the week, or whatever. But in Florida, I don't do that. Because I live at the kind of place where I would go on vacation. So while I do work, you know, sometimes 55 hours a week or more, my vacation spot is only 3 miles from my house. And I assume that most people who live near the beach in Florida feel the same way. You know, you have your work and you have all the stress of life and everything. And then you go to the beach and it's all gone. Usually, well, actually, before I moved to Florida, almost every place I went had a beach when I went on vacation. I mean, it didn't matter if it was Europe or Asia, almost every place. I mean, there have been some places that I've gone to in Spain that I haven't specifically gone to the beach at. But the good thing about Spain is that you can go to the beach 2 days, and you can go inland for a couple more days. Then you can go to the beach again if you want to. Or for example, when I went to Madrid, which was way too far from the beach, I just sort of had tons of fun sightseeing. And I do love sightseeing. Now, I'm not saying that there's not any sightseeing in Florida, because there is. And of course, I don't only mean Disneyland, SeaWorld, and all those other places. There are older houses to tour, there's the Ringling Brothers Museum, lots of other things like that. And while I haven't really done much of that, I'm in no rush because I do plan on doing it eventually. That guy was the first guy I've seen on a sports bike since I've been on this trip. Most of the other bikes that I've seen have been cruisers and Harleys. Well, okay, you know what I mean. I meant cruisers other than Harleys and Harleys. And I've also seen some Goldwings. Now, I did see a Suzuki with an antique license plate, which means that it probably had to be either 20 or 25 years old. I'm not really sure which one it is in Florida. He was riding alone, but the cruisers and the Harleys and the Goldwings were riding in groups. I'd travel more independently. Because then I can do what I want to do when I want to do it. Which, of course, is incredibly selfish of me, but it's the way I travel. Like if I decide not to go to the spring training game on Monday, that's fine, because I might go to the Space Center instead. I don't really know. I'm just going to take it as it comes. Ah yes, this is why we're not going too fast. This is the third cop I've seen on this road. And I've been on it for 84 miles now. The first time I came down this way last year, I mean, you could easily go 80 the entire way. However, now it's being policed by the state police better. So you can't really do that. There we go. Thank you, Mr. Police Officer, for giving that Camaro a ticket. I mean, he was hauling. He must have at least been going 90, because I was probably going 72 when he passed me. Going to Miami. Going to Miami. Bienvenidos a Miami. Let me say, once again, that my bike rocks. This bike is so comfortable. I've said in the past that I can spend all day on it, and I'm proving that today. Spending all day on it, practically. Back to what I was talking about as far as sightseeing in Florida. Got sidetracked. I tend to do that a lot when I ride. Just because I'm having a blast today. Right, so there are lots of things to see, and eventually I'll do them. I'm not in a rush to see them or do them because I live here. It's not like I don't have the rest of my life to do them. But my two biggest ways of passing time in Florida are riding and going to the beach. I mean, I love my little house. You know, it's not the best, it's not the biggest, but it's perfect for me. So, and I'm sort of, you know, grounded as far as traveling too far until I get it paid for, which is no problem. Because for the first time in many years, I'm actually very satisfied regarding where I live. And I'll continue to have my two hobbies, riding and going to the beach, until the house is paid off. And then I guess I get to start traveling again. Yay! I was thinking today that my passport expires in 2 years, and in the last 3 years I've only used it once. That was when I went to the Bahamas last year. I'm pretty sure I'm going to the Bahamas this year too with my scooter friends, so I'll get to use my passport this year too. Hooray! And when it expires in 2 years, I'm definitely going to renew it. Even though I don't need it as much as I used to need it, it's easier to go ahead and renew yours than let it lapse and have to get a brand new one again. I actually got this passport in 2006 when I lived in Germany, and I had to go down to the Frankfurt embassy to get it, which was no problem because that was only like an hour and a half for me by train. And I had to bring it to them in person at this point in time. I don't remember why, but I had to bring it to them in person instead of mailing it to them. And it was supposed to take 2 weeks, and because after September 11th happened, all U.S. passports are renewed in Washington. So Frankfurt had to send my passport to Washington, and it had to be renewed there. Then I had to come back to Frankfurt, and then it was overnighted to me in my town. And it only took a week, which quite surprised me. And sometimes I look at my passport and think about places that I've visited and reminisce, and pretty cool. Pretty cool. I've been to some absolutely awesome places. I am 12.8 miles from I-75, so I'm going to end this right here. Haven't really said anything, so I don't know if this will go on YouTube or not, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. This is the Florida Rider signing off. Goodbye.